I'm so glad to have you with me today as we talk about sales. I am Drew Versa, coach, consultant, keynote speaker, and author. And today we are talking about the oldest thing in history. When we talk about sales, we're talking about an exchange. Years ago, people used to barter because there wasn't this thing called money. Today, we have a thing called money, currency, and we have exchanges where things are traded for a perceived value. So, the first thing I want you to think about is this. I'm wearing a jacket, you're wearing a shirt. What is the difference between that jacket that I'm wearing versus a jacket that you're wearing or a shirt? A lot of these things are made of the same materials. They have the same thing. Think about if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you are a hospital, if you are a professional services firm, a construction company, you offer similar things. Now, the difference is brand. Think about that swoosh on a shoe called Nike. Nike sell for hundreds of dollars. They can go from prized possessions with Air Jordan through celebrity endorsements and different partnerships. So sales has a lot of room to actually grow incremental revenue as well as your core revenue, your core product, your core service. So we're gonna roll up our sleeves today and start thinking about 5 things we can do to grow our sales, to increase our revenue and increase our impact and brand recognition. So step 1 is brand. You need to have a strong brand. What goes into a brand? Brand conveys energy, it conveys a tone, it conveys a lot of things, from the typography you use, to the colors you use, to the symbols you use, to the sounds you use, to the imagery. All that goes into your brand. I want you to take a look at the brands that you like. What colors are they? What fonts do they use? All these things you can actually find. All right, so this tool you can use, one, to find the font that you like. You can literally go on a website, click on there, find the font that that person is using, that brand is using, for style guides, so you can have a similar style if you like that. You can also use Canva to have a color palette. Color palettes are key because they go with all your branding. Think about your quarterly reports, think about your things you give to investors, your slide decks, all these things. These should always be branded. They should not just be a hodgepodge and you're using whatever in Word to create something. You need to be on brand all the time, 100%. Step 2 to grow your sales is looking at your product or your service. Is there a demand for it? Is the pricing right? Is the messaging right? A lot of times people have a great product or they have a great service, but they're either trying to talk to the wrong customer, the wrong target market, which they think maybe, hey, this is my target market, and it clearly isn't. And they also don't understand the customer. So if you're selling into a complex organization, let's say healthcare, where there are a lot of rules, regulations around it, or you're selling into government and you're trying to be a government contractor, those things can pay extremely well in the long run, yet at the upfront, they require a lot of due diligence, they require a lot of research, and they require a lot of time to understand the customer, the regulations, the environment around there. So thinking about your minimal viable product, what is the product or service you have that you can get started with today, that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars in marketing, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars for hiring a sales team. You can start going right now with you, yourself, with your idea, your product, your service, and you can start getting some traction a little bit by a little bit. It's like that lemonade stand you had as a kid. Maybe you didn't have one, I had one, they were great, because they teach you about sales and they teach you that eventually somebody's gonna come by. And then you have to talk. You have to talk about the exchange. You have to talk about why your lemonade is better than somebody else's. Sometimes it's not that detailed on lemonade, but you get the point. All right, next we're gonna talk about all of the open source data that's out there. So if you are not taking advantage of free reviews that people are leaving about your customers, different products, let's say you're thinking about creating a product and you want to make something in China and bring it over here to the US, or you want to make something here in the US, you want to have a restaurant, you want to have some sort of food thing. There is so much data today if you leverage Google Trends, if you leverage Google Insights, and if you leverage things like Yelp. What are people saying about your competition? And if you're in business, what are they saying about you? Don't be one of those businesses that does not respond to people. Transparency is key in everything you do today. Transparency is key in everything you do today. So the old school stuff of not responding and all that, throw that out the window. Today, it's about transparency. It's about consumer trust and the speed of trust. Your ability to increase the speed of trust with your customers can generate more sales. So when I work with companies, we look literally at everything. I'll look outside your door if you have a storefront. Then I'll look at your web presence. I'll look through all of your reviews. I'll see everything going on with your business, what the market's saying, and I'll also look at your competition to see how they are presenting themselves, what customers are saying about them, what their revenue potential looks like in comparison to yours. So a lot of this stuff is out there today, but you also have to understand what it is you're looking at, what you should be looking at, what you shouldn't be looking at, and you have to understand data as well, because data can also be misleading if you don't understand how to leverage data. So that's why it's always great to hire a consultant, hire a strategist to come in and work with you, whether you're a small business, a startup, all the way to a Fortune 500 company. It's important to understand the market, understand what the noise is out there, what people are saying, and what your customers are talking about your business. Next, I want to talk with you about an exchange. Sales is an exchange. You are giving me your time right now to listen to me in hopes that some nugget that I give you will help you grow your business. Understand that it is about an exchange. So the time that I give you, the time that you give me, be prepared when you meet with people. If you are in professional services and you are selling, you need to be prepared. So many people come into meetings, they are not prepared, they don't know the purpose of the meeting, and they don't know, most important, the desired outcome. While you want to have a normal conversation, an authentic conversation, you in your mind should know what that desired outcome looks like. You should know either it's, I'm going to have a future phone conversation with this person. This person says, yes, please send me your PowerPoint deck, your pitch deck, whatever it is, and you're moving the football down the road, or you're in a high transactional sales environment where you need to close that moment in time, like automobile dealerships. You know, when somebody leaves your door, odds are if you didn't close, it's done. It's a done deal. So what are those things that you can do to build trust during that time, but also being prepared, knowing your product, knowing your service, but knowing the value. Why does somebody need it? Why does somebody need you? Why does somebody need your product? And lastly, I'm going to get to why they need you. You should be building a personal brand. If you are in sales, you should be building a personal brand by posting things, engaging with people on different sites, especially LinkedIn, the #1 business-to-business platform out there today, because personal branding is key. People buy from who? People they know, like, and trust. So if you are somebody that people know, like, and trust, your odds of selling go up. So depending on where your customers hang out, you need to spend time there. You also need to build a personal brand. Your company has a cool product or service, but people are buying from you at the end of the day. Any great headhunter, recruiter knows that people come back to them. Same with a plumber, same with a lawyer or a doctor. If you solve somebody's problem and you are honest, you're transparent, you're trustworthy, and you do good by them, they will keep coming back to you time and time again. So, and lastly, understand that it takes 6 times the effort to generate a sale versus retaining your customers. So you need to be thinking about customer loyalty and retention strategies as well. And how do you mushroom deals out of your loyal customers? This is one of my superpower strengths, is getting people hooked where they're just happy, they love everything that's going on, and they want to say, you know what, call Drew, call him. He does amazing work. This product's amazing. We love it. So your goal should always be taking care of your best customers too, because they will be the best people that will refer business to you time and time again. I promise you this. And you can build a strategy off of retention, off of loyalty, to ask for more referrals, to ask in a way that doesn't seem salesy, but in a way that is like, you know, you really enjoyed this product, right, John? Or you, Susan, really loved this service that I gave you, and you told me 1,000,000 times how it's changed your life. Look, all I'm asking is for you to introduce me, if you're comfortable, to 5 people by the end of this year who you think I could help. Or just pick one. Pick your most favorite person in your network who you think would find value in a conversation with me. And you know, I'm not super salesy. I just want to have a conversation because of the value that you found in us working together, and I want to be able to share that with somebody else. What are your thoughts on that? And communication. You need to improve your communication skills. You need to understand how to listen, to bite your tongue. Salespeople are driven people, so it's counterintuitive for young sales professionals to listen because they want to tell, sell, and they have this thing called pressure because that's the way sales works. You have quotas, you have deadlines, you have quarterly reports, you have different shareholder expectations. So understand that, take the pressure off of yourself and learn how to communicate, be an active listener. So I hear you telling me this, you know what, we have 10 more minutes left. Is there anything that you would like to cover today? I know I've been in here sharing a lot with you on sales. So in the comments below, if there are things that you would like me to cover next video, please let me know, because I want to check in with you right now. Do you see what I just did? I did a check-in with you, I gained more trust with you, and I allowed you to have an opportunity to share. Sharing is so important. So I hope these tips help you grow your sales and start moving in the right direction. You can always call me for more help as a business coach, and I do sales training as well with organizations and teams, as well as entrepreneurs who need to get off to the right track. Sales is wonderful if you actually have a product and service, if you believe in and you see the value when you see your customers going, wow, this was truly a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful experience. It starts feeling good. You get more confidence. So if you're new to sales, understand you have to believe in what you're selling. And sometimes we take jobs because we're not in a job where we believe it, or I was in one role and I didn't believe it yet. And then when I finally saw what I was selling and the value with the people, and how it was changing their businesses and their people's lives, their employees' lives, I was on fire. I was on fire. I was unstoppable. So get out there, go sell and add value, have authentic conversations, research people's businesses, be that person who's more curious about their business than what you have to sell. And I promise you, things can start shifting in your sales today.